Hi, and welcome to Positive Relationships. My name is Irene Achia, and I'm a Christian counsellor. Today we're going to start a discussion about the differences between men and women. And although men and women are obviously created differently, oftentimes in relationships, each of the couple will try to change the other person to make them a little bit more like them, or may find it difficult to understand the vast differences between each other. So let's start with those complaints. Some of the most common complaints men have against women and women have against one. Actually, let's just talk about one of each, the most common complaint. A lot of counsellors and psychologists will agree that women most often complain that men do not listen to them. They don't feel heard in relationships. Either a man completely ignores her when she speaks to him, or he listens for a few beats, assesses what's bothering her, and then puts on a Mr. Fix-It cap and starts to offer solutions and advice in terms of how she can feel better and resolve the situation. So women often don't feel heard. On the other side, men are often complaining that she is always trying to change him. She's always trying to fix him. She's always trying to improve him. When a woman loves a man, she feels responsible to assist him in growing and tries to help him improve the way he does things. She forms a home improvement committee and he becomes her primary focus. She thinks that she is nurturing while he feels like he's being controlled. Instead, he wants her acceptance and she wants to be heard. So what plays into these complaints and what are the reasons that these complaints exist? For men, their sense of self is defined through achieving results. To offer a man unsolicited advice that he hasn't asked for, is to assume that he doesn't know what he's doing. Or at least that's what he will believe. He'll believe that if you were to give him advice at a time when he hasn't requested it, it means that you're making an assumption that he has no idea what he's doing. And they take great offense to that. Autonomy for a man and the ability to do things on his own is a symbol of efficiency, power, and competence. Also, men will rarely talk about problems. In fact, they usually only talk about problems in one of two scenarios, either to let the other person know that they're at fault, or to get advice from someone who may have greater expertise in a particular area or field. For men, to talk about problems is to burden another person. So unless that they're speaking for one of those two reasons, they'll usually refrain from telling their wife or their fiancé about the problems that they're going through because they don't want to burden her, they don't want to add to her problems. Compare that to women. Women are starkly different. For women, to share personal feelings is far more important than actually achieving a result or a goal or even success, because that connection is key to women. A woman's sense of self is defined through her feelings and the quality of her relationships. So if a woman is in a relationship where she is going through a difficult time, that will reflect on her view of herself, and she will start to also feel poorly about herself. And women talk about problems in order to achieve intimacy, not to usually find solutions. They talk about problems and they share their problems for the sake of connection and building on relationships. And for a woman, a sign of love is to help others without being asked. Now take that and compare it to men again. So for her, if she's offering advice or offering help without being asked, that is a sign of love. And to him, he takes that to mean that she's saying he doesn't know what he's doing. For her, it's important to share problems and it's important to talk about daily events because that's how you connect. Whereas for him, he's placing an unnecessary burden on her by sharing problems that she may not be a part of the reason of or have greater expertise in, as are the two primary reasons he would share problems. You can see that just looking at the differences between men and women will start to highlight why there are so many reasons that when men and women in relationship find themselves in conflict. Because they're often expecting the other person to view things in the way that they do. She's expecting him to see that sharing problems is a way of connecting, while he is expecting her to see that by not sharing problems with her, for example, he is lightening her load and he is not adding to her woes and taking responsibility for their family. For her, her nurturing nature and her way of showing love is to offer help and to help him change and improve, and he sees that as not being accepting. While for her, when he provides solutions and gives her answers to problems, she takes that to mean that she's not really heard. it's really important to see that we are created differently and that those differences are actually positive things that are important and key to a healthy and long-lasting relationship. I look forward to seeing you next time on Positive Relationships.